Welcome to Hospitality Asia channel on HAPA TV. This is our Inside Story segment with general managers of hotels and resorts in Malaysia. And today we have the pleasure of Murray Aitken, general manager of Hard Rock Hotel Desaru Coast with us. And we'd like to talk about talent development and how do we bring in more talent into the industry. Not just any talent, but passionate ones. Hi, Murray. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Right. So, of course, we need to know about the brand, a little bit about the brand story of Hard Rock Hotel Desaru Coast, and also to touch on your passion in really building talents in the industry. You know, I like the fact that you talk about the sustainability part where you have learning and development injected into the brand, into the hotel for every individual. So touch on that basis more, because we really want to talk about the lack and the shortage of talents in hospitality in Malaysia, and how do we solve this issue? What do we do to help hotels bring in talents?
Well, thank you. It's an interesting subject altogether, specifically since almost 35 years ago, I was in hotel school myself. So looking at how this talent has dispersed out, and there's so much else to do now, from digital and running your own pop-up bubble tea shop or whatever it may be. It all still requires service, and there's different levels of service today. But when it comes to hotel talent development and hotel service, you've got to make the individuals, or at least the young generation, enthusiastic and interested in it, because their attention span will be far less. So you've got to introduce them through. I managed to unsuccessfully get my two kids to go into hospitality. I say unsuccessful because I convinced them not to go in.
Yeah, because that's what it is, isn't it, Murray? In fact, I think 9 out of 10 parents was a stay away from hospitality, right? Too much time. Yeah. And how do you get your kids over?
Well, I tried to tell them not to, and I think with my daughter and my son, they both traveled with me and lived in different exotic locations. And my daughter's in Europe, and my other son is down in Australia, in Sydney, and both of them interns in their final years of becoming hoteliers. They're very enthusiastic about it because they realize that they can travel. So they got the travel bug, the two of them, and they are able to then travel and enjoy it. My other kids like that too. I have another son who's a photographer, right, and does exotic locations, and another son I have is focused on food technology. So they're all in some way connected to what we enjoy as these experiences around hospitality and travel. But you get them interested, the younger generation interested, by giving them the experiences and teaching them how to do it. But as well, I do believe there's a transfer of DNA.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Are you born? Were you born with that DNA? Like you were saying, we had a little chat before this, and Murray was saying, to be in hospitality, you gotta love to serve, right? And is that DNA born, or is it?
I believe it's born in you, but it's developed over time. So it has to be developed by your mentors. Right. And I had great mentors when I was a young hotelier, and today I try to be the best mentor that I can for not only young generation, but those that are trying to find their way, even at an older age in the industry, that might decide, I'm not sure if I want to leave the industry. Try and convince them to stay by following another avenue. And remember, in hotels, if you want to be in finance, you can. In marketing, you can. In sales, in engineering, in all the different divisions that you have elsewhere exist inside the hotel industry. So it's just associated to then the travel or the hotel itself as a product, or the food and beverage. But the point you brought up earlier about development and focusing on development, I think this is key, because as individuals, we're sponges for knowledge, and we want knowledge. We want to be taught so many different things. But if you teach them through a dedicated development program and what we call succession program, you know that at whatever level you are, you're then able to progress to the next levels, earn more money, have better benefits, and get more freedom in your job, and enjoy your job. If you don't make your job enjoyable, then people will leave. Yeah. And we all know that people don't always leave for money. they leave because of bad leadership and bad bosses. You know, where leaders, to be a strong leader and teach is I think the key when it comes to hospitality is to continuously teach. We have a lot to catch up on when it comes to sustainability, technology, and how technology now you can go to restaurants and these little robots are bringing your food to the table and talking to you, and they know exactly where to go. You know.
Yes.
So because of the lack of shortage of staff, but at the end of the day, okay, that person or that robot, that machine can't deliver to you the smile and the warm hospitality that eye contact can, that a warm conversation can. So I truly believe that even though technology is dictating how we maneuver and navigate through the industry, I truly still believe that the human touch is what service is still about today. You cannot get a robot to clean a room. Technically, you could. But you still want to know that a human has come in and cleaned your room and turned down your bed for you, you know, and folded your toilet paper for you, or whatever we do in hotels, right? So you still want to know. So that requires humans. That requires talent. And in order to continue to develop this talent, we've got to keep them interested.
Right, and you know, so your kids are they were studying at Taylor's University, right? So what do you think moving forward, industry players, you know, academic institutions, and perhaps even, you know, talent development agencies or individuals or experts can work together to build, you know, to build a strong foundation for, like you said, you know, they all sponge for knowledge. You know, what kind of knowledge should be introduced? What sort of training should be given to them so that they will find working in the industry a lot more fun, you know, and less challenging, but yet, you know, they have a sense of growth. They know they can grow in this career.
So I think, firstly, with Taylor's, we identified that Taylor's was recognizing individuals as well and identifying what it is they like about that and offering various courses that they can choose. But I think that not only the education institutes themselves, but also associations or organizations like whether it's Hard Rock or whether it's HAPA that are able to collaborate with these educational institutions to let them know, look, these are the requirements that we're looking for. And someone may be interested in engineering through hospitality or through accounting or through sales. So being able to identify at an earlier age, okay, what it is that interests the individual to go in on this educational tour, which will then allow you to map out for them a program. So when they go through their training or the internship, they got to go through all the departments. They got to clean rooms. They got to work in the garbage room. They got to work in the front office and the luggage department. But essentially, there is something they're looking for, and I think it's our duty as the experienced leadership to identify in each of these individuals what is it that makes them tick, what are they interested in. So if you go and push someone to a food and beverage division and they really don't like it, they're not going to last. So I feel that it's important that these institutions, as well as us leadership in hospitality, are able to invent programs or introduce programs that allows the young generation of interns to identify the path that they may want to take. A lot of people go into hospitality and go and study it and leave and never go back to it. Because they wanted to go and study something, they thought it would be fun, but it's hard work. Every time someone's having fun, you're working. Every time it's Christmas and they're having a celebration, you're working. You're working to give them that celebration. So there's sacrifices you've got to make. And a lot of people who go into hospitality don't counteract for that. They don't realize that. So they end up leaving. And it's because I truly believe at the early stages of entering into the programs, they haven't been identified as what makes them tick and what they are actually looking for. And the conversion is quite easy if you do have these programs in place.
So in other words, are you suggesting that all these students that are, before they go out on internship, they should be looking through, they should be this program that they look at and could put a tick and say, this is my first preference, this is my second preference. And when they enter the organization or the hotel, then the hotelier and the leaders in the hotel could actually take a look and say, oh, this is where she likes, this is where he likes, and then start positioning them.
Absolutely. For instance, if you get a trainee or an intern that wants to become a chef, and they come in and they can work in the kitchen. Now, there's several divisions within the kitchen. You can go to the butchery, you can go to the cold kitchen, you can go to the pastry, you can go to the hot grill, there's or into catering division. So there's various positions, but if you just put them in and let them just be, you won't be able to identify, actually, this person is so good at baking.
Yeah.
Look at their pastry work. They're so good at that. Push them more there, you know. Or someone might just want to become a butcher. It is so critical to be a butcher, you know, or vice versa if you want to go into catering. And in all the other divisions in a hotel, I think it is very, very important that we identify what are the individual's talents.
Right.
But what also are the individual's desires?
Yeah.
And quite often the two are not connected because they don't know what their actual talents are until they've tried something. And their desires don't always equal what their talent is as well. So you've either got to try bring the two together or identify essentially talent, because we're talking about talent development. If someone has the talent for something, you have got to encourage them to be developed in that area. It's no, I don't think it's any good when you're developing their desires, because their desires are going to change, their influences are going to change as to what else they want to do, and they can be very quickly influenced away from what their talent potentially was. You've got to be able to develop talent.
Right, right, absolutely. And Murray, what is your advice to the young talents out there, you know, those who are aspiring to be a hotelier or to be a general manager, or those who are thinking of getting into hospitality industry? As you know, we all know, but nothing is a bed of roses, right? Yeah. You know, what does it take? And what's really different? I mean, Murray, you've been in this, what, 35 years ago you started. 35 years later, I'm sure it's really different, totally different in terms of education side, in terms of expectations, in terms of the journey and the challenges and everything else. So what would you say to a classroom of students who's thinking, okay, should I not? Yeah. What would your advice be?
Well, my advice to my kids was don't do it, and they did it. So we know that doesn't work.
Okay.
No, I would say research. Find out what is it that's interesting you. Where does your interest lie, and what is the reason why you're pursuing this? Is it just to travel? Well, you can do it, but you need to work. It's going to require work, okay? It's going to require, as we said earlier, these sacrifices during the key periods when you have to work.
Yeah.
But my advice to a classroom full of students that are embarking in it is identify what makes you have fun, what you enjoy most, what makes you be satisfied at the end of the day. After 30 plus years, I love what I do. I still love it because it is in my DNA. I've developed my talent in the areas where I knew that I wanted to focus. I left the hotel industry very briefly to go and own restaurants. I very quickly went back, realizing I love food and beverage, but I missed the hotel environment.
Okay.
I went into a corporate role. I came back to run hotels, you know, because I again realized this is where
you belong.
I belong. And you don't. Sometimes it takes longer to realize that, but you can realize that sooner. But I would say focus as you go on your journey as what you enjoy most, and make sure that you center your attention around that what you enjoy most. As I said, if it's around photography, then get into photography of travel.
Yeah.
You know, there's National Geographic, there's all the travel feature magazines and digital now platforms that are focused on travel itself, because everybody loves to travel.
Yes.
And travel has changed.
Yeah.
Travel has changed. People are traveling for different reasons.
Yeah.
And we're going back to train travel, ship travel, and all kinds of travel now as well. So there's so many connected industries that are connected to the tourism industry itself. So identify where you want to go. You could end up in the government's tourism industry.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Again,
true.
it is connected to what we are doing in the hotels on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
So it's important to be able to, and you know what, no one's going to go out and take you on your journey. You've got to find it yourself. So you've got to be creative, you've got to be resourceful, and go out and learn about what you want to, the area where you want to focus on.
Right.
And get better at that.
And get better.
And talk to people in the industry.
Yeah.
They will give you a lot of insight as to what they believe you should or should not do, or if you have questions. We're here, us veterans, dinosaur hospitality guys, are all around you. Come and talk to us.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I love that. I mean, the fact that, you know, you've got veterans and dinosaurs that have been around for 35, 40 years, you better catch them before they retire and they say, okay, I'm done with this industry, which I doubt, you know, they're probably people like him, like Murray, will continue. But last question. I like the fact that you talk about, you know, going out to look for what your talented are and what your desires are. Picking the right property, picking the right hotel. Does it also get to do with, for example, if I love music, then go for a hotel like Hard Rock Hotel, right? If I love the beach, then go to the beach hotels. If I like city, fast-paced, then go to the city hotel. Has that got to do with also the planning of which hotel they should go to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are great hotel companies out there like us who are focused on music and hospitality. There are great hotel companies that I've also worked with in the past that are focused on sustainability in hospitality, and various other hotel companies, casino hotel companies. I've worked for a few brands. I find my niche is in this part of my career now with Hard Rock, because not only have we got all the hallmarks of hospitality integrated into the brand, but it's such a fun brand, it's such a well-recognized brand where we have music. I love music. So music is again part of our DNA, it's part of my DNA. So the connection is there. So it gives you that enjoyment. That you feel, well, I'm not only am I doing what I've always wanted to do, but I've got the association of music with us as well, and we're a more casual brand, we're a more funky brand, you know. So all of those things put in a nutshell, and we still sell our hotel rooms at a leading luxury rate. So we're able to deliver that hospitality as well. The hospitality is the same, really. You're pleasing the customer, and without the customer, we won't exist. But to make it fun is key. But I find that if you do feel that there's a brand out there that appeals to you, give it a bash. Try them out. You know, there are many brands out in the industry that are doing fantastic work in various areas of hospitality. But at the end of the day, we're serving, and that's what we're all doing. We're all doing the same thing.
Serving, isn't it? And I absolutely agree. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to also, as you speak, I'm trying to think of which particular sector or industry that you don't have customer engagement or you don't do service. Everything is. Hospitals is part of customer service, airlines, retail, right? Even when you pay the toll, for example, you drive past the toll, there's a customer interaction. I think everything in every career and every job that we take up, every career that we take up, they all involve customer engagement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They all involve service. It's some form of service, serving in customers in one kind.
Yes.
So I do agree, and I like the fact that, you know, Murray, you said about finding what you love also as part of the world that you're working in. Like if you love music, well, go do customer service in the music world, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think then leadership is part of it, of course. Like you say, you know, who are the leaders, what kind of leadership style you like, you know, and make a choice, find your place. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Murray, for being here at the HAPA TV studio. Thank you for making time. Murray came all the way from Desaru. This is what you call about passion.
Thank you so much.
In hospitality.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for joining us here on the Hospitality Asia channel on HAPA TV. We're going to have more and more sessions, engagement sessions and chit-chats with general managers and other hospitality leaders to get more insights from them about the industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right. See you again soon.
Bye.
Take care.